IWDC Fifth Third Commercial Credit Card, reaching new heights, building upon the success of your commercial card program.
Right. Excuse me. Hold on one second. Hi, good morning, everyone. So my name is Kim Connick. Jessica, thank you for setting us up and for the introduction. And to echo her comments, thank you all for your business, and thank you for using the IWDC commercial card program that's offered through Fifth Third Bank. And thank you for making it as successful as it is. So as current participants in this program, I wanted to provide you all with an update on the program's performance, review some trends. Trying to move the page. Review some trends and ensure you're all aware of the features and benefits that are included with your commercial card program. If nothing else, I want you to walk away from this knowing that we are here to help you grow. And so I'm going to share some data on the top vendors in the program. And this can also be an open forum if you want to ask questions and or share some best practices. So quick introductions, Jessica. I work exclusively on the commercial card program. Also on the line, we have Steve Payne, who is the relationship manager, and he works through the application, the credit limit, and overall bank relationship. Then we have Nick Lashevsky. Some of you may or may not have talked to Nick over the years as he is part of the team and is really helping us grow the participation. And then we have Kim Ray on as well. And she is a treasury management officer. So she's a really great consultant for accounts receivable, accounts payable, information reporting, liquidity, fraud protection. I'm also excited to share that we have the team from Oxygen Service joining us today. So Oxygen Service joined the program last year, and they've already contributed significantly to the program's success. In addition, they implemented some solutions that are not commonly used, and they have generously agreed to talk about how these solutions are helping them. Let's start out with current performance. Excuse me. So in 2013 is when this program got started, and it started with 8 members and about $30 million in annual spend. So we would say it was the success from day one. If you fast forward to 2024, we now have 29 members, and we're projected to earn rebate at the $90 million tier. So if you look at where we were as of September 30th, actual year-to-date spend for the first 9 months was over $73 million with accrued rebate at $1.27 million. So about $1 million more than what 2013 was. And then if we project out just basic math, nothing fancy, we're looking at $98 million in spend with just shy of $1.7 million in rebate. And then you can see in the graph the trends in the spend versus the rebate. So hopefully you're all enjoying that growth, because as the program continues to grow, you're earning at higher rebate rate. And you can see that while the spend grew by over 200%, the rebate grew by over 500%. So I like those numbers, and I hope you do too. And just to revisit the rebate schedule, this was updated for everyone in 2019. And as I mentioned, we're on track to earn into that $90 million tier. So depending on your payment terms in your statement cycle, you're earning about 1.92% or 1.96% on your standard transactions. And if we look at this, I don't know if you could see. So last year we were in the $80 million tier. The year before that, we were at $70 million. So it's been really great year over year growth. And since 2024, it's projected to be around the top end of this $90 million tier. I have high hopes that we can actually continue the trend and move then into the $100,000 tier. So it's pretty exciting from my perspective when we look at that, and I hope it's exciting for all of you as well. So one of the things that I think is a common question from members is where members are asking where commercial card can be used. And because all of you are current participants in the program, I can share that information. And this is information about which vendors are currently accepting card from IWDC members and how many members are using our card to pay. So as you can see, Messer is now the #1 supplier that's accepting card, and they are also a large reason for the rebate growth. Their transactions qualify for that full 1.92% or the 1.96%. There are a couple names on here that are going to be hit or miss. So Air Products is very limited, but one of the bigger programs that is paying Air Products are grandfathered in. But you will see a lot of these are common vendors, and the number of members paying can vary. So if you have invoices that you're paying by check to these vendors, perhaps they could move to card. So I have heard from Miller, for example, some members say they were able to successfully move those payments to card just by negotiating payment terms. But I wanted to just get a temperature check. How does everyone feel about this list? Are the people on this line actually maxing out right now? Any surprises? And you can put it in the chat. You can raise your hand. You can come off mute and talk whatever you like, or you can stay quiet and we can talk later at the end. So whatever works for you.
I would just say from my perspective, I think a lot of the vendors that show up on this list are ones that I see quite a few of them that we currently have on the program, and that just got to comb through it some more to see if there's maybe a couple here stragglers that I can loop into the fold.
Okay.
I also had a note, Kim. This is Jessica, everybody. This listing is, like it says, through September. We can share with you a listing that goes farther back, because there are some suppliers on here, especially asset suppliers, that maybe aren't showing up right now because of the year that asset suppliers have had. So if business is down in a certain category of product, they may not be represented on here right now today, but that doesn't mean that they weren't on the list 6 months ago or 18 months ago. So this isn't the end all be all, and it might be worth bringing in some of those other companies to show, so that everybody gets a better idea of that. And also, which I'm sure you'll talk about, Kim, is Fifth Third's availability to help comb through our members' vendor partners to see who does accept card. So I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you for that. That actually flows really well with what I have coming up. So thank you, Jordan, for that. If you're from the company that I think you're from, I think your company has done a great job of enrolling suppliers. And you actually have another partner on my team, Matt, that name's not familiar, who would have been helping with that.
Yes, I believe so.
Yep. So yeah, you're what I would consider a success story. So this list is, like Jessica said, it's a snapshot. It's 9 months of energy. I saw an energy name, sorry. 9 months of information, so we can always take a deeper look. But we have some other ways to look at your vendors as well. One of the names you're all probably noticing is Lincoln Electric. So nothing's changed there in the surcharge. We just have one member who their annual spend wasn't very high, so they were okay with the surcharge. I did hear from them that the surcharge has increased this year, so I would expect that to drop off. I did not want anyone to have false hopes, though, but that is a situation where I continue to try and make some progress for the group. All right, hold on. Okay, so we also wanted to take this time to remind you of the many benefits and features that are included with your commercial card program. Between the time you open your program and now, maybe your needs have changed, or maybe you finally have time to take a look at streamlining a process. I make jokes because nobody has free time. But over the years, we've also released some enhancements to the commercial card offering. if you want to learn more about anything on this page, please contact us because we'd be happy to set up time to see if you can benefit from any features or enhancements to the program. So whether you're suddenly, more concerned about fraud protection or putting some more controls on the card, maybe you want to reduce paper in tandem with some expense management, reduce your banking fees. We're here to help with that. Our reviews are customizable. So whatever your priority is, we can talk about it and help you get there. So it's a true consultation. And to just give you some more detail on what some of those benefits are, let's take fraud protection, for example. So when it comes to that, controls and data, we have various online tools that are going to help you achieve those goals. And whether it's a system for your administrators, maybe it's better reporting, maybe it's a tool for your card holders, we're happy to share more information. So one feature that other customers appreciate is this cardholder portal, which is listed under online management. It provides quick and easy information to your cardholders via a website or a mobile device. It's often going to reduce the phone calls that your card administrator has to take. So if you think about if you're getting a lot of calls about what's my limit, why did this transaction decline, how much do I have available, how do I reset my PIN? Those questions can be handled by the cardholder portal and free up your admin's time. So it's been very popular. And then for any system that you see here, we can provide training for you, for your administrators, for your card holders, or any combination. In terms of ongoing program support, so we're happy to set up routine discussions, whether that's annually, semi-annually, quarterly, to review your individual card program's performance. We can talk about your rebate accrual or whatever you'd like to discuss about your programs. Like I said, it's customizable. We want to help you maximize your benefits and just make sure it's meeting your needs. And you'll also see that we offer virtual cards, and they can be a great tool for payables as well as a good way to improve your reconciliation and your fraud protection. So Jessica talked about vendor intelligence. Another way that we're happy to assist is with supplier intelligence and or enrollment. So maybe you want to call a supplier and ask them to take card instead of check. But before you have that phone call, would you like to enter that conversation equipped with information that's going to help you have the most successful dialogue? This is where I can help. So I can research whether they take card now, whether they're taking it from current IWDC members or across the bank, how their transactions would translate into rebate for you. So whether it's one supplier, or I can look at your entire population of check vendors, I can analyze your suppliers and create a plan for enrollment. And that can look like a number of things. I can tell you information so you know who to call, but maybe you don't have time on the team to actually call the suppliers. We can even help with that. So there are a number of ways that we can help you look at your suppliers, and knowing how it translates into rebate is going to help anyone have a more detailed conversation about what your benefits are and what you can do for them in terms of working capital for both parties. Ideally, it's going to be a win-win, but these are things that are going to be a more detailed conversation between you and me. I will say that one recent success that we had in this area, it's not reflected in our numbers yet, but a member provided a list of vendors. We researched the current card acceptance and the rebate, and we've already seen $100,000 in October month to date spend as a result of those efforts. So we're anticipating additional growth with that customer as well. And if you think about what that would do for you on an annual rebate, it can be compelling. Not only that, but think about what happens when a few of your programs grow by one or two suppliers. That's going to help us all get to a new tier yet again, where everyone is getting a little bit more rebate. And I say that, but it's pretty exciting to see the growth year over year. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we have Oxygen Service on the line. And so they joined the card program late last year. They started out with plastic. They got that set up, and then they got their virtual card program going in April. And is anyone familiar with virtual cards? Jordan, I think you are. I think you coming off mute.
Yeah.
Okay. So virtual cards are a great way to replace checks. If you're happy to put your invoice payments on your plastic card, by all means, keep doing that. But if you're thinking, I'd like a unique card number for each payment, I want good reconciliation, I want some fraud control, virtual card is a great way to do it. So in a nutshell, instead of getting a check in the mail, your supplier gets an encrypted email with everything they need to post that receivable on their end. You can send invoice level detail. And the really great thing about a virtual card is you say, this is how much the payment is. They cannot process the card for a different amount. So you have control. It's also, once they process that card, it's done. So they cannot process against that card again. And so it's really good protection for you. It's a really good transaction for them because they get all their remittance detail in the same email where they get their payment information. So Oxygen Service set that up. Now, they had come from another provider where they were already using virtual cards, so converting them over was easy. But going back to the plastic side, forgive me for jumping, when they set up their plastic program, they also added the expense reporting module that comes with the normal reporting. So, and I say added, there was no cost for this. It's a free expense reporting platform, and they were on a paper process, I believe. And this is where Zach and Kathy, I may ask you, if you don't mind, to give us a little background and let us know, how is the expense reporting system working for the team, if you don't mind to share.
This is Kathy. It's working really well. Like Kim said, we went from paper receipts to the expense reporting, where each cardholder is responsible to upload their receipt into the program, into their account, and code the expense. They review it, and it goes off to their manager, who then reviews and approves. At the end of the month, we download a report. There's so many options as to how you want to see this report, but we download the report with all the coding, and then it's uploaded into our accounting system to expense at the end of the month. So it's been working great.
Thank you for that. So Kathy, you were on a paper process before you set up the expense reporting. In terms of the amount of time that you're saving, are you seeing some time savings from that?
I will say we're saving hours and days, because previously we would get the credit card reporting for the month, and we would have to break it down into each card holder, send them an email. They would have to either bring their paper receipts to us, or scan them in and email them. And then we would review them and code them. So it's saved us a lot of time, and it's also made the card holder responsible for their expenses and the process. Saved us a lot of time.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Does this sound familiar to anybody else on the line, or is anybody already using the expense reporting module? You want to raise your hand or write in the chat? Okay, so if this is something that sounds like you would want to look into it, we can certainly help with that. We can do a demo, and what we can do also is you can upload your accounting codes and everything. So there's a lot of customization that's available in this system if it's something where you would benefit from it. So I mentioned the virtual cards. So Oxygen Service was using virtual cards before they came to us. This is not very common in the IWDC group. Jordan, I know you use it. But I guess I'd ask Oxygen Service, back when you originally set up virtual cards, how has using the virtual cards affected your payables process? And, what kind of benefits are you getting from using the card versus writing checks?
This is Zach speaking. I guess since we switched over to Fifth Third, it's been pretty nice. Mostly, I guess, with the web interface, it's really easy to kind of track credit cards to see what's been processed, what hasn't been processed, if cards are expired. Um, so that's been really nice. The platform we were using previously, it was kind of difficult to kind of get all that data, and it was kind of hard to manage the cards. But with the Fifth Third portal, it's kind of made it a lot easier managing all that throughout the month. And then with the expense reporting, I don't really have to deal much with like receipts or anything, but just to reconcile my payments every month and getting the monthly report, it's really easy to match up. And that saved me some time. But we were kind of already using virtual cards before, so it was fairly similar with the vendors receiving the payments and all that. But it's been a good transition for us on the payable side.
Great, thank you. So I wanted to open it up to the entire group and just see if there's anything that anyone wants to ask, any tips you want to share with each other. Since, we wanted to take a different approach with the existing members, and instead of just saying, here's what our program do, kind of ask, how can we help you get the most out of it? So appreciate you being on, but hopefully we can send you back with something that you can take from this so that we just know you have the help, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say one thing I think that would be helpful, and I think we kind of alluded to it earlier, is just like a full-blown list of, vendors that have accepted the program or card, and that we can continue to evaluate, people we're doing business with to see if we can get them converted over to taking a virtual card or other form of card payment. I think kind of that full-blown list of vendors that are accepting them would be helpful.
Sure, we can do that. Now, one thing I do want to tell you is, so we talked about the history of the program. 11 years ago, I think the biggest vendor on the program, I know the biggest vendor on the program is Lincoln Electric. And a lot of members joined the program just to pay Lincoln an aggregate spend so that everyone benefited from a higher rebate tier. We know what happened there 4.5 years ago. But when that happened and Lincoln added that surcharge, we found that a lot of members weren't maximizing the program as much as they could have. And hey, if they were happy, that was good. But I say that to say we're happy to share the list of suppliers so that everybody has this information, but don't be discouraged if you don't see a vendor on that list. So that's where I would say, if you want us to take a look at who you're paying, and not just are other members using their card, but who's accepting, are those vendors accepting card from other customers at Fifth Third Bank, or do they even seem to be registered with MasterCard? That's going to be really good data. So yeah, happy to share that, but we can do better than that for you.
Thank you, Kim. Jordan and Zach and Kathy. This is Jessica again. I also just wanted to reiterate that, a lot of the companies that you'll see on these listings can be industry suppliers, but a lot of them are just, your utility companies and your salespeople going and putting their gas on their card, or like stopping at Chick-fil-A and having lunch. There's just like as a consumer, right? We go shopping, we pay with our own personal credit card. I would go after every every bill that you get, I would look at that supplier, that vendor, that service, and try to pay with that card. So
Yeah,
don't forget about the non-industry spend.
Thank you for that. And excuse me, I apologize. 1 second. So thank you for that, Jessica. Another thing, in addition to getting the rebate for anything you put on a card, if you're not using it now, there's really good reporting through a system called SDG2. This is MasterCard's system where they provide very great information on your posted transactions. And depending on the merchant, you could potentially even see every single item that was in that transaction. So Amazon, you'll see is on the list. They provide what's called line item detail. You could go into an Amazon transaction, and maybe some of you are already doing this, but you can see they purchased one of this item with the product code. Here was the unit price. Here's a description. Here's the tax. So any merchant that's providing that, you have really good detail on what was purchased. It's great for your program controls. And I always ask, like, would you rather your employee tell you where they use the card, or would you rather MasterCard told you where they use the card? Now, most employees are very trustworthy. They're really good stewards of the company's finances, and they're doing the right thing. Every now and then, and this is not me trying to build the fear, but every now and then you will run into somebody who's doing something they shouldn't. So you have protection from MasterCard on true employee misuse. There is an actual insurance coverage that comes with your program, which I think I listed in the features and benefits. So MasterCard benefits, there it's under additional coverages, but against true employee misuse, you have protection. But I think it's great to see to just get that independent data from where the transactions were. So the fact that we don't have 29 members putting their Amazon on the card is actually kind of surprising, because you don't even need to ask Amazon. You just give them the card. And like I said, there's really great information so that you can independently audit things and verify for yourself. So just, I went a little off script there, but yeah, to Jessica's point, it doesn't just need to be invoices. Anywhere you would want to use a card, you can get rebate for that through this program. Is there anything else that anybody wanted us to touch on while we have this time? And if you don't want to, if you don't have questions now, I'll share this electronically, but want to make sure you know who your relationship team is. So if you want to establish a more frequent touch base just to see how everything is going with your program, if you want to receive some rebate accrual reporting, let me know. But like I said, we have a whole team that's here to help you, and we want to make sure you feel supported.
Awesome. Cam, thank you so much. Jordan, Kathy, Zach, thank you so much. Hope you all come away with, like Kim said, a little tidbit of information to explore. Fifth Third is here for discovery, the IWDC, myself. I am here to help you as well. But again, thank you. The way we started this meeting, thank you for participating in this program. Again, it is successful because of you. Doesn't take much to keep that sales and those rebates dollars going up. So appreciate everything you do. Appreciate your membership. Appreciate your time today.
Yes. Thank you all.
Guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you so much.